Hello, this is Bridget Rao with Divine Essentials 515 on the clock here, and I am doing part 6 of level 7, which is Educate, Grow, Practice, Experience, Barter, Trade, and Try. Okay, so basically what this is all about is, like, when you want to do this work, you're obviously going to continue to educate yourself throughout the process and educate others. Something I learned actually kind of recently is when we learn something, we learn it, but when we teach something, we master it. So I really feel like when I was going through the Muneki rites and all of that stuff, if I had just received it, it wouldn't have been as potent as it was in my life, because I ended up teaching it and giving it to others. I didn't just receive the rites and sit on them and never do anything with them. Like, I literally got them, meditated, connected with the archetypes, built my relationship with them, and then I started giving those rites to others, and I did it for free at first to practice, and then I learned and educated myself. I grew and I mastered it through that process, and that's when I started to charge other people the energy exchange that I was, doing, because at that point it was like, I'm not just gifting you a rite, I'm taking you through a guided meditation. I'm teaching you the wisdom that I've learned through giving them, through my experiences and the experiences of those that I gave them to. So we need to build up our experience. We need to build up our education, and we need to teach other people to master things. And the only way you're going to grow is through practice. Literally practicing every day. And in a spiritual sense, in a work sense, in any sense, it's going to be something beneficial to have a calm mind, to have a cool temperament, to be taking care of yourself. And it's hard in this world to not get caught up in, like, swift away into all this crazy chaos that we have out here. A recurring theme that I've been seeing this past couple of days is people judging other people. And we all do it. I know I've done it. Like, it's just a thing. But it's so asinine when you hear somebody be like, like, I don't know if anybody saw the video I shared the other day where it's like, I took a clip of a woman that was talking about a conspiracy theory, and I was literally eating pretzels at the time, and I've got pretzels sitting here. These are pretzel chips. These are different from what I had that day. I literally had the pretzels that are like, okay? And the girl said in the beginning of it, like, even if you just bend your mind like a pretzel for a minute, even if it goes right back afterwards, at least you tried. At least you thought, exercised your brain, educated yourself a little bit about possibilities. So that when these things that, because I mean, it's like, it's so frustrating to see how closed down some people are, to just open up their mind and realize that, like, not everything the TV tells you, and not everything your government says, and not everything that anybody before you believes is true, and not everything I think is true. And I question it every day, and I shift it every day, because I need to do that in order for me to expand my awareness and grow and overcome the bullshit limitations that we get stuck within. Don't write off anything, because how many fucking conspiracy theories have come true? How many things have people, like, blatantly proven at this point that you're like, yeah, that's true, and that's true, and who do you trust? Like, that gets to me too, because it's like, the people that you follow, the people that you're getting your messages from. Like, I just had a girl today that was like, for the past, like, I don't even know, 2 years, 3 years, it's like every time I've listened to your readings, it's been dead on. Dead on. Even in the times when I was down and out, and even in the times where I felt lost, I was still delivering dead on messages. And I'm not saying this person did that, but it's like, if that's the way that I have been for people, and then they come in and they're like, wow, so much synchronicity, and I'm like, boop-a-da-ba-doo-boop, but their cognitive dissonance or their instant reaction to be like, you're stupid, comes up. It's a fucking frustrating thing, because it's like, yet I'm right about all the other things in your life, but just not that, just not that, just not that. How many times do I need to have a tally board beside me before you start to realize that a lot of times what I'm telling you isn't to harm you or to hurt you or anything. It's to just let you know what I know, And I don't like doing it, and I don't really care if people like me or listen to me or not. If I did, I definitely wouldn't be doing this fucking job. Because it's hard. Your best friends, your family, everybody thinks you're fucking nuts most of the time until you show that you're not. And you feel nuts most of the time until you realize that you're not. You're gonna have to grow and practice in order for that to, like, get to the point where you're confident enough to continue to tell people the truth, even though they may not want to hear it, and even though they may, be rude to you. But the girl that I saw the other day, right, I shared that video and I had added other things in because she's talking about a thing that a man in the 90s was talking about that I keep hearing about. And these things aren't hard to find. Like, it's public domain. You can go look it up. CIA and the boop-a-da-boops and all these people, the FBI, all of these people, put it right out there in your fucking eyes. But nobody wants to do the footwork. They just want to, like, click on Fox 25 and, sit there thinking whatever they're thinking. I don't know what they're thinking. I know a lot of that is the Montauk crap, 88%. The TV programs you. It's literally called programming. It's programming people into a frequency of misery and just, like, not feeling good. Being in fear. Living in a fucking miserable world. And it's not going to get any better with our focus on that. And that's part of this fucking collective illusion is the power of attraction. If you have a society of people who feel sick and think they're dying and think all these bad negative things, and that their kids are killing each other at school because of guns, not because of anything else. No, we've had guns for a long time. They were never doing this before. Something has changed. But the thing that killed me about when I shared that video, right, I had put the thing in about Starlink and this, that, and all the thing to show that, like, it's not a far-fetched fucking cry, guys. It's already happening. You are going to see some shit go down that you've never seen before. And when you do, don't go to fear. Don't let it get you, because it's gonna look pretty fucking bad. It's gonna be real in the sense that, like, there's some bad shit happening, but it's not gonna be what you think it is. And if we can overcome the collective amnesia and the collective, like, about the fact that this shit is happening, we will get better. So I shared that video, and it was literally, like, small little clips of the woman that was talking. She's a black woman. She has, like, a podcast or platform or something where she talks about these types of things. And I shared it, and on my page on Facebook, somebody commented about, I like the pretzel thing, right? But why does she have to be so, like, judgmental towards a certain type of people, right? And I'm like, do you realize that you are just as judgmental to be, like, saying that about her? You noticing that about her says something about you and how judgmental you are. You know what I mean? Me noticing this about her notices, like, it's a continuum. I almost commented back to her and said, like, it's the pot calling the kettle black there because you're being judgmental towards her. And she's not even the main focus of the video. You're missing the point when you're doing that shit. You're missing the point. You know? It happens all the time. It's like, if you don't have anything fucking nice to say, don't say anything at all. It's pretty motherfucking kindergarten basic bullshit. But we have a lot of people out here hating and blah blah blah, 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 blah. And it's hard because your truth gets wrapped up in that. I've really been trying to grow. I've been trying to rise. I've been trying to heal. And I'm trying to keep my vibration in a space of allowance and receptivity and bringing in abundance so I can survive. Because it literally wasn't, only a couple weeks ago that we had no food, we couldn't afford to eat, didn't know what I was going to do because I couldn't walk, and it was bad. And I knew I needed to bounce. I knew I needed to shift. I knew I was going to die like that or rise out of that. But there's going to be people in your life that you notice when you start to rise where they're really at, when they're really negative, or where they're really, like, toxic, or they're really just not in a good place. And we don't have to dismiss them or hate them or judge them. We can love them, but don't let them in on the level that it harms you. You have to grow and evolve, and sometimes that means cutting people off, not letting it in. Like, if you know there's going to be a comment somewhere that's going to trigger you or piss you off. Like, if I commented back to that woman, right? And was like, well, that's pretty judgmental for you to judge her based off the ba-ba-da-ba, and you missed the whole fact of the video, ba-da-boop-da-boop-da-boop, right? She probably would have came back with some ba-ba-da-boop-da-ba-da-boop-da-boop, and then, you know? And it would have kept going on and on and on. People like that just are looking for a place to be like that. I've been seeing it in people, and I'm like, oh my god. Like, I don't want to talk to you, because it's not fun to do so. It's not a good time. I'm not having a great time doing this, so I'm going to remove myself from that situation and not continue on. That requires growth, and that requires remaining calm and also acknowledging these things. Like, this person isn't going to change. I can't change them. And if I continue to change and want to continue to change, I cannot keep that vibration around my vibration and expect harmony. I cannot expect myself to continue to rise when I have people dragging me down into negative thoughts, negative feelings, negative judgments, negative self-talk. You know, that feeling of, like, I keep getting it from certain people because I feel it. And it's attack. They may not consciously think, oh, I'm going to attack her. But when they say negative, nasty little fucking boopadoops, or they use whatever's going on in their life to negative, nasty you, it's like, I understand, but I can't fix it for you. And you're in a place right now where you don't even want to fix it. I'm happy here. Because obviously, if not, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing to those that would want to lift you out of there. The people that have the opportunity to make it better with, like, oh, let me bring some light into my life. Let me have some good time in my life. Let me have some love and respect and, like, kindness and all of those things. Let's have a good time. Let's laugh. Let's joke. Let's joke about the weirdness of the world. There's people out there that don't even want to do that right now. They're just way too fucking serious about everything all the time, 24/7, in a victimhood. For not even, like, themselves a lot of times, too. People are getting all offended over being offended. Over that person did that and that person said that. Stop focusing outward so much and start focusing inward and ask what the fuck is wrong within me that I'm focused on all of that that's keeping me from growing. It's going to require practice, you know? Like, and there's going to be times where you get triggered and you yell back or you respond back or you do whatever. Or you stoop to the level of the thing that you got triggered by. But you practice. And you learn from it. And I've gotten much better at railing in my reactiveness to people. Like, when they comment their fucking shitty shit. I've gotten to a place where I understand the psychology behind it all. So I usually can defuse it. A lot of times get apologies. A lot of times I don't even need to hear anything. They don't respond back at all. They're silenced by what I say to them because they know it's true. So use that wisdom, use that power to acknowledge what really is going on in a loving, kind way without being hateful to people. You'll get a lot more with honey than you'll get with vinegar. And that brings me to experience. Once we experience these things in our lives where we have these people that are in our world over and over and over, we realize, like, all right, this is a little bit of a test. These are going to test my boundaries. This is going to test my strength. This is going to test my will. This is going to test my ability to not get, like, all flipped out, to not be offended, to not be all up in arms about the stupidest shit. It's like, just let it go, guys. Just let it go. Go outside. Have a nice time. Breathe the fresh air. It's not going to kill you unless you think it is. And that's the biggest problem here, is so many people understand these concepts, but they don't apply these concepts. And that's when it takes experience of, wow, when I do this, my life gets better. When I don't do this, my life gets real bad. And you don't have to be rich. You don't have to have a ton of money to heal. And that's another thing within the world too, I've noticed, is like people who don't have money or grew up without money, they often undervalue themselves. They try to get, like, they don't understand. It's like, even when the economy sucks, there's still people out there with millions of dollars and billions of dollars. There's still people out there that can pay anything that you charge for whatever it is that you're doing. As long as you're not being asinine and weird about shit, there's somebody out there who can buy what you have. but you need to be in the vibration of receptivity to receive it and realize that it doesn't matter. With illusion they're putting over things, there's still people out there that are sitting pretty. And they always will, and they always have been, because they came from that. But in the meantime, you can barter what you know, and if you don't know, you can grow, and you can evolve, and you can practice, and you can gather up something to barter with. Like, I woke up, and I just love design and stuff like Canva, and when Canva came out, that was after Wix came out. Wix came out, it was like, kind of like Canva. First thing I ever had like this was like MS Paint, like the little paint app. Ooh, I love that shit. Then I used to do it in like Word and make the documents and stuff, and it was like getting the pictures and the things, and oh my god, it's so pretty. I've loved it since I was like able to do it. So when Wix came out and it was like build a free website, I was like, ooh, let me play in that. And I did. And then I simultaneously was listening to all the stuff that goes into it beyond just the design aspects. And then I did that for Facebook, and then I did that for Instagram, and then I did that for all these other things. So then when I got to 2015 from 2011, all that time in between, I had gathered up a lot of information. I have notebooks that are like labeled copywriting, affiliate marketing, all these things that I have learned and gathered and continue to learn and gather intel about, because I have a lot of cookie jars that can bring me a lot of abundance, but I turned them all off when I stopped focusing on that and stopped believing in myself and stopped feeling good and stopped noticing the problems that were around me and instead became one of them. So by the time I hit 2015, I was like already designing websites. I had one for myself, one for my ex's parents, one for his brother, one for this, one for that. I met the person that I could get Reiki from. I paid for my first Reiki class ever. I begged my ex. I'm like, can I move it? Please, please, please. And it was only like $100. It was like $150 or something like that. And he was like, whatever. I think he didn't feel intimidated by it because he didn't think anything would come out of it. And it was all women, It was all a bunch of women. Although the restaurant at the end of the strip that I would go to, he would flip out, God forbid, if I went in there to eat. Who knows why? It was one of those things, though. That's what I mean. Like, that's why I didn't want to get a 3D job, because he flipped out about me eating in restaurants. He was a problem. But at that time, I was a problem in allowing that problem to remain in my life. My mother was another problem, and I gave away a lot of time and energy and devotion to her, and I don't regret it. But I learned a lot of lessons from it, in realizing, like, I can't do that again. And I've had it tested on me a few times since then, and I've said no. Because you can't grow, you can't evolve, you can't barter, you can't do... you can. I still worked and busted my ass and did all the website stuff and did all the promotion stuff and did all the things that I needed to do while driving to Boston every day. My phone, Google, thought I worked at the Brigham Women's Hospital because I was going there every day for 8 hours a day, minimum. And I got parking passes and things like that because of how often I was there. Well, she was in an induced coma and unconscious. But every time I left her, things got really bad really quickly. It was like they would just like try to kill her while I wasn't there. So it was a hard time. It was a difficult time. Worried about her, building websites for her, doing this for her, and those are different hers, those are all different hers. And publishing this and doing that and growing myself and putting my own things out there and doing interviews and bop-a-da-boop-a-da-bop. It's not an easy thing. Like, you're not going to just be sitting at home on the couch leisurely doing this. I fall asleep with my phone in my hand at night sometimes trying to publish something and barely able to type anymore. And I wake up hours later, the phone's on the floor, and I finish publishing it at that time. And then when I wake up in the morning, I start working again. And it sucks because people like my dad don't see it as work, because I can stop and talk to him. So he's like, mama, 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 mama. And then when I'm in the grind or in the flow and he starts texting me, and I'm like, or I'm trying to screen record something and it text. It's a lot of fucking aggravation and stuff all the times. But I've learned to trade in the and letting all of that stuff derail me to the point where I get nothing done. Because that's what used to happen for like the while there. It was like, because I was in agony, physical agony. I was like, ah! Brain was overloaded with just like pain receptors all over the place. Everything was going to hell. And I was like, I don't even care anymore because I'm probably just going to die. And you don't need money from dead people. So, I was like, whatever. Hopefully the dogs will be okay. I'm out of here. Literally was at that point, thinking I was most likely going to die because of what was going on with me. And just knowing how this world is, it's like going to the doctor in this world usually is like, let's stamp into you 10,000 more things that's wrong with you and give you a lifelong prescription so that they can keep getting their money. But I also never give up on realizing, like, I am a healer. And I knew, and I've said it a few times throughout the time, I was like, I know they want me to heal myself. And I did, and a lot of people helped me. And that's what I needed to do, was ask for help. That's part of the problem, was that I wasn't talking to them anymore. I was mad at them a lot of times, my guides. And I wasn't asking for help because it's hard to ask for help, especially when you have people in your life that every time you've ever motherfucking asked for help or accepted it, hung it over your head or made you feel guilty about it or made you feel like you're a useless piece of crap because you couldn't do that thing. And it's like, all right, fuck yourself. I don't want your help anymore. Don't offer it if this is how you are about it. Find the people that are going to work with you, that have what you need and you have what they need. It was perfect when I found that place because I was like, holy shit, look at this website. Oh my God. And and that's just what like you're going to find in this world, is there's people who are amazing channels and healers and light workers, and they can do all these awesome divine things and bring together people and do all that stuff. But when it comes to like website design, they're just like a hot mess and they don't know what to do, and they can't make a menu because it like takes logical brain thinking, and they're more of a creative right sider, and that's okay because people like me come in and I'm like, oh, let me fix that, and you teach me what you can do. And that's what I started off doing. And then another person was like, what's going on over there? It literally came there and found me and was like, hey, I'll pay you. Boop, 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 boop. And I was like, sure. Because I was like at my breaking point with this person where I had gotten to the point where it was like over $1,000 owed to me. And she wasn't running any of the that I was supposed to take in place of the work I was doing. And it was just like resentment was growing. It was imbalanced. It wasn't working out, which is why I'm very adamant about that at this point in my life. Like when I work with Monica, I'm like, Monica, I don't want it to be imbalanced. I don't want you to feel like you did more for me than I did for you. Ba-doop-a-da-boop. And she's the same way. So she's like, well, I don't want to take anything from you because I didn't give enough to you. So we mirror that to each other, which ends up like causing a block between us because then neither one of us want to take from each other. So you're just blocked to each other because it's like, well, I don't want your money. Well, I don't want your work. It's like, just take my money and take the work. But we both have our blocks around that to work on and heal. And, she's gotten a lot better at doing those things, like receiving money. And I think one of the blocks is her realizing, like, to us here, $5 is not what it is to her where she is. It's like $50 where she is. So keep that in mind too. Like when you go into these apps like Fiverr.com, because you don't know how to make your resume, or you don't know how to do this, or you don't know how to do that, there's people out there that will do it for $5 because they live in a country where $5 is 50, and that's okay. We need to utilize these things and take it in and be like, this is available. It's going to help that person that's obviously needing it, or they wouldn't be posting this service, right? And it's going to help me because I need that service, but I can't pay somebody in my own area right now the top dollar. Instead of looking at everything through the eyes of, yeah, shop local, be cool, do that stuff. But if you can't fucking afford it, you got to start somewhere. You got to build up. And then when you get to that place, then you spend it on that. But don't go wasting it on these big corporations, because that's not shopping local. That's stupid shit. Because I feel like Monica's local in the sense of she's part of my soul family, part of my soul group, and I just got boom, 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 boom in my ceiling. So, yeah, they've been snap, crackling, popping when they're on board with that. So, don't let these imaginary lines mess your life up. Don't let your judgment of other people, that they're bad, they're evil, they're negative, they're a jerk, they're an asshole, they're this, they're that. Whatever it is that you're thinking about people, come out of your mouth and land on them without realizing first that there's something in you that even triggers that it response that makes you feel that way, or you've been hypnotized into just being offended or being upset or being at odds with somebody because of their fucking, you know, their red or blue or the green or whatever the fuck thing you're putting on them. It doesn't matter. It's all bullshit. Separate, conquer, divide. Men and women, black and white, old and young, generation this, generation that, DMDF. Oh, you're so insensitive. Oh, you're such an asshole. Oh, no. Everything that you attract into your reality, everything that you see, everything that you click on, everything that you watch, all that stuff is there because you've invited it in to do something to you, to either get you to wake up and realize wow, this is a boop, like a new perspective, or to grow, or to heal, or to evolve, or to see something you never might have seen before, and to plant the fucking seed of potential to grow, to make you realize, like, not everything is as it seems. But when you instead go, I'm going to judge that person on that thing because they're not like I am, or they don't believe what I believe, I'm going to be rude to people because I think people are rude. Do you not see how fucked up that is? Let me be rude to you because someone was rude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a mirror. We don't need to be mean to each other. We don't need to hate each other. People have been separated and segregated and sent into their little fucking holes to die back in COVID time. And there's still people out there living like we're in the height of that shit. It's fake. I know people died. I know it's like a real thing that people can get and die from. But they blew those numbers up so fake. It was patented in the fucking 60s. They have patents on all this shit. None of the maths. Look it up instead of just watching TV for your news, because that is a program that only the corporations at the top trickle down into. And you're not trade your stuff, trade your time, trade your energy for like energy. If you're giving love, allow love back in. If you're giving information and wisdom and things and people get offended and upset and they just give you hate, or they mock you, or they degrade you, or do whatever to you, block them, remove them. And if it's somebody that you can't do that to, just cut down on the fucking amount of time that they have access to you, because misery loves company. And you're not going to rise out of misery accepting it in the front door. Try. Just keep trying. You gotta try to not die. And you'll die many times in this life. But it can be a bad death where you stay down in the depths of the darkness, or you can rise up out of there. At any given moment, you can heal anything inside of you. Stop consuming things in your world that makes you feel like you can't. That makes you believe that, like, you're fucked. That you're just, whatever. If you keep going to people and places and things in your world that keep telling you that shit, that's what you're going to see, and that's what you're going to feel, and that's what you're going to know, and that's what you're going to attract, and that's what you're going to vibrate out, and that's what's going to vibrate back. I just fucking did it to myself. I have the pictures to show, man. I'm not lying. My feet are fucking... I'm standing up right now. Fucking standing up. Walking. Without crying. Without screaming. Without... I had to keep trying to get out of there. I had to try really hard. I had to try to not let, like, when my dad's being in a bad mood, take me down into a bad mood. When the dogs do their dog shit, it didn't let me go down into that place of flipping out like a maniac because every time the dog stepped on my foot, it was bad. And I had to take the illusion off and realize this is something going on here. Because it's not like a normal medical fucking thing where both of your feet fucking just get holes on top of them. What the fuck is that? No. Both feet? No. And then both legs get these weird fucking bites that just never go away. I got 2 bruises on both legs and 2 bruises on both wrists. Seems like somebody had me hung and fucking chiseled to where they wanted me. Think about that. Weird shit. And the person that taught me things back in 2015 had the very same experience as me. I never thought much of it, never even knew what that word meant. Stigmata, didn't know. I had no idea. But then somebody said it to me when they saw the feet thing, and I was like, oh yeah. And then I remembered my mentor, when I first started Reiki healing, taught me about she had bruises go through both of her feet, bottom and top. And I was like, that's weird. And by the end of it, like right before I started like truly healing away from it, I started having like these little Bible quotes like unto you and through you, like he works through you, and the suffering and the struggling is like, so it just gives you wisdom. It gives you a perspective you never would have had, and it softens you to other people who are suffering. I don't want to cut every motherfucker out of my life. I don't want to hate everybody, but I will keep them at a distance until they rise up to meet me where I am. You know, like if you're not gonna come up here and you're gonna be down there doing that shit, I'm all set, because I don't want to go back down there. But I will offer you the space and the love and the acceptance and like the information and the wisdom to help you try to rise up out of there. And everything I learn, I teach so that I can master it. So try to do that in your own life, and it will get much easier every day that you do. In Mune, namaste.